Good morning, Fargo. My name is Tony Gehrig, Fargo City Commissioner. I'm here to update you on the March 27th Fargo City Commission meeting. On that agenda, we had two main topics. One was public comments regarding the election task force, and the other one was an incentive for corporate air up at the airport. We'll start with the task force. We basically, as commissioners, listened to the public. We didn't do a whole lot of talking. We had people come up that wanted to speak, give us their information, what they thought was the right way for us, and then we took that information in. Going forward, we'll take that information and we will make a final decision at some point in the future. What we found out is that there was not, in my opinion, a great demand for change. The biggest things that could be changing are the number of commissioners. We'll have a discussion about that, and if people want more, I don't see a reason why not, I guess. The award system. That is to say, certain parts of Fargo are represented by certain people. Almost every city of our size does it that way. We are in the minority in Fargo. We do things very differently. One, we have a commission-style government. Two, we are at large, meaning no awards. There are only 5 other cities of our similar size in the country that do things the way that we do it. Most places have an award system, and they have some sort of manager system where the commission manages the department heads, and they do the work for the people on a regular basis, which is basically how we do things now, quite frankly. We're not a true commission-style government. So I think awards are an important conversation to have. I get calls all the time about people saying, I don't feel like I'm being represented in the Roosevelt neighborhood, in South Fargo, in North Fargo, wherever. And the reality is that Tony Gehrig, the mayor, and myself live in very close proximity to each other. We represent that part of town very strongly, and people in the middle of Fargo really aren't represented very much at all. So I think it's an important discussion to have. If you have comments, call me, email me, call the city of Fargo, make your opinion known, because at this point, there has not been a strong demand for any sort of change to our current system. The biggest thing that I've heard emails on is the system of election where approval voting is what's called, but you get to vote as many times as you want for a commissioner. I grew up in a country, I guess, and in a city that said one man, one vote, one woman, one vote. So you can choose the commissioner that best suits you. I don't like this idea of giving a consolation trophy to anyone who's running, and I'll vote for all of you. I don't think it mathematically works. No other city in the country does it that way. No other city in the country does it that way. And I think there's a reason for that. It opens you up to fraud. It opens you up to a lot of different problems, and I think people should look into it more closely because there are issues with it. The other thing I'll talk about is Corporate Air is a feeder company for FedEx up at our Fargo airport. Most of you remember that FedEx got an incentive and they moved to the city of Fargo. They don't correlate. They didn't need the incentive. They said so at the meeting. But they're here now. Good. I'm glad they're here. They're bringing a bunch of business, millions and millions of dollars to the city of Fargo. And they're supporting feeder business as well to the airport. One of those companies is Corporate Air. They want to expand the hangar they have out there. They wanted hundreds of thousands of dollars to do that. I asked them at the meeting, do you need the incentive in order to do it? They said no. And this is the first time that the other commissioners that I remember voted with me to say no to this incentive. That's a win. That's a win for this. The biggest reason the others didn't vote for it is because it didn't qualify as a primary sector business, which is semantics in my opinion anyway. But they said they didn't need it, they didn't receive it, and guess what, Fargo? They built here anyway. They're staying in Fargo, they're growing in Fargo, they're doing exactly what they were going to do without it, and that's a major win for us here as a commission, as a community. And I think we need to continue to do that, but as you'll see in the next few videos, it's not happening that way. So that was the March 27th Fargo City Commission meeting. I hope that all of you take something away from it. Feel free to contact me at any point, and keep watching how your Fargo City Commissioners are spending your tax dollars.